Part 4 of The Easy Way Out, the final ending, all other parts down below. Date night was nice. We went out, had a light dinner, and couple of drinks. Then joined 2 other couples for the comedy club. Unlike a couple months ago, we sat next to each other. If you were an outsider, you would never have guessed we were having problems. We had a great time. She wore something that showed something nice, and really caught my eye. Didn't wear perfume though. Damn. It really is weird though. We have pretty much no physical interaction at all. And, it's been so long, I feel like a 16-year-old on his first date. I know at some point, I have to make a move, but really don't know when. Especially after she said, at MC, that my one text, "I love you," was over the top, which is why she didn't respond. We went out to breakfast today, and then wound up stopping at the cell phone store to replace her phone. You all may recall, it was her complaining about her phone that started my whole fall into hell. When I went onto our cell phone website to research upgrading her phone, is when I found the emails to OM in October. So, we got her an iPhone today. I have to admit, this really scares me. There is so much more she can do with this phone. It kind of scares me. Then, the salesman has to be demonstrating the voice commands on this phone. And what does he up and say? Let's say you want to send a text to AP. You would just speak text X. I said, you just had to use that name, didn't you? She jokingly told me to shut up. But I have to admit, it scares me. I have an iPhone, myself, and I know, if I wanted to do some clandestine activity, this is the phone to do it with. She's not the most technology inclined, but this phone sure makes it easy to do so. Anyway, we seem to be getting along really well now. We are talking about future stuff. But, frankly, I worry. Without I love you and physical contact, it scares me to talk about future trips, plans for the house, etc. At some point all that stuff comes off the table if she isn't in the relationship. I mean, I'm not taking my wife to Germany. If she's just a roommate, makes sense. For now, I'm just enjoying us. But I hesitate to commit to spending major money for just a friend. Just wondering how long I stay in this limbo, even if it is fun. Well, if this weren't my own life, I'd just have to laugh. I mentioned that I got my wife the iPhone this past weekend, and how anxious it made me. Well, turns out for good reason, but not for the reason I thought. I forgot completely about this stupid iCloud photo backup thing. Wouldn't you know it, a few weeks back, when I was panicking about some unusual pages in her purse, texting address, and what I thought might be a bank account number, and an American Express gift certificate from a senior manager at her company. Female. Well, I took pictures of the stuff with my phone. Yep, you see this coming, don't you? Her phone synced with my iCloud account, and those pictures were on her phone. She hasn't said anything to me about it, but remember how Monday she seemed grouchy. It figures, I stopped spying 3 weeks ago, but that time may have caught me. I can't imagine she didn't play with her new phone over the past 3 days and open the pictures up. There were only about 20 pictures on the photo stream, 4 was from my spying. I only realized it when I opened that folder on my phone and saw the pictures. I knew her phone was set up to sync with the iCloud and realized they would be on her phone too. I've deleted them now, but it would make sense now why she seems to be in a bad mood. Remember, I even asked her on Monday why she was mad at me this whole week. Well, I guess she knows I know about the gift certificate. 2 steps forward, 3 steps back. I just don't think I have the energy for this roller coaster anymore. Last week, I decided to go buy myself some new jeans. I've lost over 20 pounds, and most of my existing jeans are baggy. Plus, over the past few years, I've tended to buy the relaxed fit jeans anyway. So, I thought I'd try on some new straight cut. Damn, I am down to a 34 inches waist, and the straight cut jeans look pretty good on me. Needless to say, I bought a couple pairs. Caught W checking me out in them that night. She asked me if I'd been working out regularly, because it was obvious I've lost weight. So, here's the weird part. Just prior to me discovering the EA, she was working out like a fiend, getting up to get to the gym by 6, paid for 3 to 4 personal trainer sessions. Definitely motivated. Right after D-Day, the personal trainer session stopped. And then a couple weeks later, no more working out at all. She hasn't been to the gym by herself for nearly 3 months. She has gone twice with me, but definitely not motivated anymore. Since D-Day, I've lost over 20 pounds. She's gained 5, according to her. Last weekend, I took her into the city, to Little Italy. We went to a nice Italian restaurant, then went to a bar for drinks. Later, we visited a nice Italian pastry shop, bought other treats to take home. We had a very nice time. Nothing happened in the physical department, but we had the idea of fun. The next day, I texted her, while she was shopping, that I was thinking about her and had a nice time. Once again, she didn't answer until Tuesday, Valentine's Day. I had sent her chocolate-covered strawberries for Valentine's Day. She finally saw my Sunday text, she says, and responded she too had a good time. Then she thanked me for the treats. I also had gotten up early to make her a breakfast sandwich. We didn't see each other Valentine's night, as I have pool league on Tuesdays. I took her and our girls to dinner last night. Unfortunately, Dee too was really acting up, so it wasn't all that much fun. Yesterday afternoon we had our most recent MC. I'm really wondering if this is doing anything. I brought up that I thought we should bring out some of W's issues with me. The things that she has been harboring. W agreed to do so, but then all she would discuss was that she really hates when I discuss stressful work things with her. Understand that this might be only a couple times a month. I'm like, really, this is one of your top 10 issues with me. This is what made you pull away from me. This is something we need to really work on. I couldn't believe the MC latched onto this and spent 20 minutes following this red herring. So, we never really talked about anything substantial. We did acknowledge she was depressed, but MC only casually tossed out that she might think about seeing an IC. And then dropped it. I would think that would be worth pursuing, a whole lot more than stressful work discussions. I brought up that I felt things were better, but that I felt I was doing all the work. It might have been pursued but wasn't. And, when MC asked her to tell me where she was with the relationship, she just clammed up again. Couldn't say. We did bring up that things seemed better, but there was a whole lot more work to go. So, here's the thing. We've had a handful of very nice dates over the past 5 weeks. I send her a nice Valentine's. She stops, on the way home, to get something for the kids. So, when I get home, do you think she'd have gotten me something? I mean, even if she forgot, or wasn't sure what to do beforehand, once she got something from me. Wouldn't you think she'd at least get me some token? Nope, nothing. It is so clear, her taker is in charge, and I'm really fighting to keep mine at bay. But all this lack of anything from her is really making it hard. In MC, we are supposed to give each other acknowledgments. She struggles, really. Took you out on the town, send you a nice Valentine's, keep making you nice breakfasts for your commute to work. And you struggle. I struggle, cause, frankly, she isn't doing anything. She does the grocery shopping, so, I keep acknowledging that. Update. Okay, we had our latest MC session yesterday. For whatever reason, commitment. She didn't even leave her work until 4, for a 4:30 appointment. She knows it takes her a full hour to get home. MC is within 5 minutes of home. She did the same thing for the last appointment. Needless to say, I am paying for a 1.5 hour session. And, again, we missed the first half hour. While waiting for W to show up, I explained to the MC that I was dissatisfied by the last session. I explained that I asked where her head was at, and she couldn't reply. I wanted to talk about her resentments with me, so we could address them. And she threw out the "I hate it when he talks about work" red herring. So, wife shows up, and we start. MC pushes her on where her head is, to which she finally replies, "I don't know, I just don't know." So, MC asks me where mine is. I state the following. 1. Not a day goes by that I don't think about her EA. 2. I feel I'm doing all the work. 3. She doesn't talk about anything. 4. I am working hard, she acknowledges, but there is a shelf life to this effort. 5. I love her. 6. I'm confused why there doesn't seem to be any progress. She responds, "You don't think there is progress." I respond, "You are nicer to me. But really, is that what you think is a contribution? You're not being cold to me anymore. Your biggest contribution seems to be allowing me to spend more time with you." She responds, "That's a start." I then ask her if she wants a divorce. She says no. MC asks her why. She says, "'Cause I care for him, care about the family and don't want to break the family up." MC tells her there has to be more to a marriage than that. I pipe up that it amazes me there is not more progress after 8 to 9 sessions. MC responds pretty much that if she won't talk, there isn't really much she can do. MC asks W, is there anything she wants to tell me about where she is? We just sit there quiet. I'm thinking, see, this is what I've been dealing with for 12 years. She just won't talk. How can I meet her needs if she just flat out won't communicate? MC then goes off on this whole tangent about how W seems so stressed. She's got so much going on with work and kids. She doesn't know how working moms it does. There is no downtime. She is asking W if she would rather be a stay-at-home mom, which she was for 3 years prior to 2019. W responds she doesn't want to be dealing only with the kids, and would want to work at least PT. We spend like a half hour on this conversation. She just kept responding, "I don't know what I want." MC asking her what I could do for her. Gets "I don't know." At this point, I'm getting a bit pissed, and tell MC it's not like I don't do anything around the house. MC is totally missing the point. The kids are her source of anxiety, not work. She just can't deal with the kids. She was a stay-at-home mom for 3 years, and that is what started her distancing from me. I encouraged her to go to work. A, we needed the money, and B, she wasn't dealing well with taking care of the kids. Anyway, I feel this whole MC thing is just not doing much good. She isn't really talking about her issues after almost 10 sessions. And why in the world would I want to reward her behavior with offering her to stay home while I do the work? When she was a stay-at-home mom, I still did half the housework. What the hell? I realize that the source of our falling apart really is the kids, for her. I do very well with them. She just gets irritated by them, but we didn't have kids for our first 4 years married, and there wasn't much bonding then either. So that isn't everything. But, if she won't talk, what the hell am I supposed to do? Anyway, this morning I text her, "Do you want a separation?" She didn't respond, so I emailed her work email that I sent her a text. Still no response. I honestly feel that after all the changes and work I've been doing, if she isn't feeling it, she is either in some fog or just gone. I'm thinking I could encourage her to take an apartment. That will give her the time to myself to just think about things. It will also get her out of the house, which, if I go the D route, I've been wondering how to get her to leave. It might be the beginning of the end, but then, this limbo is nowhere to live either. Well, I finally got a response from my text this morning about separation. Maybe space is necessary. So, it looks like another meeting with the divorce attorney, sitting at a bar close to home. Just can't muster the energy to go home. Damn, I felt stronger earlier. What happened? Latest update. Today is Sunday. We finally had our talk today. I told her that I would like to know what space means to her. What does that look like? She said, "I don't know what it looks like. I don't know what it means. I don't know what I want. I thought you wanted me to move out." I told her the only reason I sent her the text about separation was that the night before, in MC, when I asked her if she wanted a divorce, she seemed so much like she wanted to say yes but was afraid to. She responded, "I don't want a divorce," leaving a but hanging in the air. I said, "But, I don't know, I just need some space to figure things out." Boy, is that not the classic line on this forum. So, I told her, "I'm getting my bonus in less than 2 weeks. We just might be able to afford an apartment for you to figure your space out. Then, of course, the Orlando trip would be out." She immediately sparked up. "We've been talking to the kids about this trip. We have to go." I told her, "We can't afford it. I think the kids will benefit better from a stable environment, be us separated or together, than one trip to Orlando." She agreed but said she could put this off until next year, so we didn't have to forego the trip. I told we know, we can't afford it. The important points are A, I just need some space to figure things out, and B, she wasn't really saying no about moving out, just didn't want to have it affect the Orlando trip. I then told her, I don't know exactly how much my bonus will be. For all I know, it will be half what I'm planning. It could also be double, who knows. We should wait until the 14th to make any decision, when I know exactly how much it is. She agreed, and we left it at that. My thinking is if I can get her to move out, it will either hasten her figuring it out, and one way or another, end this limbo. I also told her I thought she was depressed. I said, "I don't know if your depression is a result of what you are going through, or caused what you are going through, but I think you need to go to IC." She said maybe. We also agreed that MC wasn't really accomplishing anything, and after 2000, we really haven't made much headway. I also said I didn't know if there was someone else in her heart. Of course, she quickly barked, "There's not." I really don't know what is going on in her head. A big part of me thinks if I just go ahead and file, it will force the issue. On the other hand, my biggest issue with filing is how to get her out of the house. So, either way, I should wait until my bonus, and see if she uses that opportunity to move out. If she does, that would be the most opportune time to file, as I won't have to figure out how to kick her out. Should be an interesting next couple weeks. It would take a miracle for me to take her anywhere at this point. She has seen me go to Amsterdam, Dublin and China last year, places I would have loved to take her, but it wasn't even an option last year. I've mentioned, in the past, that there will come a time, this year being the first, where we could consider her going on some of these trips. It just boggles my mind that she seems to be throwing everything away just when things were getting to a point where we could really be starting to have a lot of fun. Just crazy. I also have a potential trip to Brazil within another year or two. Dubai, UK, China, Dallas, and all kinds of other places are in the future. I'll probably go to Shanghai, Beijing annually. Future conferences in Germany, Poland, Amsterdam, France, all very possible. And that isn't even counting all the places we are just getting to be able to afford for regular vacations. Very crazy. So, she was sitting at the dinner table, playing on her iPhone, plays some word game. I sat down and said, "I've been thinking, maybe we need to sleep together." She started laughing, not the laughing at me, but where did that come from, kind of laughing. Then she said, "You think?" I said, "Yes." "Why?" "'Cause it is a bonding thing to do, and it's been 2 years for me." "It's been that long for me too. Are you thinking it hasn't?" "No, just saying." She laughed a bit more than said, "I guess I could think about it." Then I helped her with a couple of her words. A few minutes later, "You realize I'm serious, right?" She smiles, "Yes, something to think about." A month or two later. So, we did start bonding again. But I don't really think her sleeping with me had anything to do with Orlando. I think it had more to do with me catching her off guard. Truth will be more telling if there is a second time. I agree that Orlando needs to be off the table, For now, I think I'll tell her that I believe we should postpone the trip until fall. I get my bonus next Wednesday. I still don't know how much it will be. At minimum, it will be enough for us to 1. Catch up on all bills, 2. Put some much-needed maintenance into both our cars, and go to Orlando. I've afforded a decent apartment. Should we separate? I would expect that once I get my bonus, W and I will need to sit down to continue the separation discussion. If she tries to bring up Orlando as an affordability versus apartment, I will simply tell her I am not discussing Orlando at this time. If she attempts, in any way, to defer, as far as I can tell, her separation decision, so as not to jeopardize the Orlando trip, I will tell her that Orlando is not happening. Bonding or no bonding, I want to know what is in her mind. If she is just flirting around the D decision and trying to dip her toe in, I'm all for throwing her into the deep end. I just can't do it if I'm misreading her in any way. If she chooses separation, I suspect her heart really is for D the way she responded to me when I told her Sunday that I felt she was answering no about D because it just seemed like she was scared to say it. Really didn't make me feel any more comfortable. That isn't really what she wants. The question is why. She still does show signs of being in some form of fog. Every day, though, I feel more comfortable that I have been doing everything I could possibly do to turn this ship around. As for the bonding, yes, it was nice to have again. But like I wrote yesterday, I don't have any illusion this solved any of our problems. She isn't exactly professing her undying love for me because of Wednesday night. Last night, she was not feeling well, stomach upset. So, I obviously wasn't going to push anything. We went to bed together to watch TV and go to sleep. But she pretty much immediately went into sleep mode. So, I got up and went downstairs to watch a couple shows. She wasn't really any friendlier to me last night. In fact, maybe a bit standoff. I asked her to see about a sitter, so we could go out on Saturday. She seemed okay to do that, but not exactly excited by the idea. Maybe because she wasn't feeling well, don't know. Anyway, next week should be interesting. If she shows the inclination that she really does want to separate and move out, I will push her hard to get going. I'll ask her to move into a hotel for a week to see how she likes it. I will push hard for her to be the one that leaves. And if she does, probably file for D as I said before. If she wants to show some level of commitment to the M, I'll move heaven and earth for her. But she has to take steps toward me, as well. We have to move toward each other. It can't be me moving all the way to her. Mutual commitment. Wife texted me yesterday that she had finally made some doctor appointments. She had, years ago, had some sort of birth control implant done that was good for 5 years. We realized, just before our bonding on Wednesday, that the shelf life was probably about up. One of the doctor's appointments she made was to replace this implant. That being said, I made a move on her this morning, and she was adamantly no. Then murmured expired birth control. I tried to get a little physical, saying there were other things we could do, but she was having nothing of that. So, mixed signals. She is renewing the birth control, but not interested, at least this morning, in physical touching. Not sure what to make of that, yet. Well, I don't know what has changed, but she is definitely different. Absolutely, she has re-engaged. We had a fantastic weekend together. We went for a walk in the local park, with the kids, yesterday. We walked a bit hand in hand, which was nice. She's now talking about stuff she wants to do in the yard, including a hot tub. As to the comment about I could have done this sooner, I don't think so. I'm not saying we are out of the woods yet, but something clicked with her that I don't think would have months ago. Maybe she has just been seeing my changes and needed a bold move from me to bring it all together. I don't know, but definitely, her mood has changed. And yes, I've seen the downside of the bad relationship. If we, indeed, have turned things around, I will work extra hard to not let us get to that point again. I know, I have learned what I was doing wrong, and have already made my changes. The next few weeks will definitely be telling. We were talking tonight about our annual beach trip. We have a camper we take to the beach just before school starts back up again. Every year, for the last 2 years, we slept on opposite ends, sharing the kids. She was talking about possibly finding a sitter to take with us so the adults could have some fun too. It just gets better every day. Dang if I understand it, but damn if I'm not liking the difference. She kind of forced my hand this morning. She sent me an email about needing to schedule her vacation time, especially the week of our beach trip, as people were already filling up the slots at work. Then, at the end of her email she said also, we need to determine if we will go to Orlando. So, I replied about going ahead and schedule whichever week worked for her. In August, for the beach trip. And then, after telling her about my bonus, almost, but not quite as much as I was planning, we can still afford a trip. I'll work with the numbers to see if we do an all-out, staying in the resort, or stay in a hotel outside the resort. Now that I know the numbers, I can start planning in earnest. As to whether we go, I guess I have to say that you have a lot to say in that. Things seem worlds better between us, suddenly. I'm loving it. But if you are still thinking you might want a separation, We can't afford both. I can tell you, the me that you are seeing lately is here to stay. I so much want us to work. As I said the other day, a stable US will do the girls so much better than a 1-week trip to Orlando. Push come shove, Orlando could still be done on a cheaper basis. Drive down, stay in motel. 3 to 4 days versus full week. We can have so much better ahead of us. Okay, here is how last night went down. I wound up not running home. I thought hard about that, but in the end, I did not want to set a precedent that every time she goes silent on me, I would run scurrying home, looking needy. I've been making the effort to show strength, confidence, and direction, while also being as compassionate, loving, and devoted as I can be. Hope that makes sense. I did make my normal call home. As I walked to the league location, she seemed fine on the phone, and I elaborated some on my email. She never dispelled the separation issue, nor did we make any decisions on Orlando. To be clear, I'm not sure I ever did definitively say I was set on it only being in the fall. But, as of right now, there is no clear call on this either way. We left the phone call last night with, we would discuss it tonight. However, one thing she did say that stuck with me. Some point during the conversation she said something like I'm trying. I responded that I knew that I could see it. She then brought up that I didn't seem to think so during our last MC session. I apologized that maybe I was just pushing things, and I was confused. After that call, I really started thinking about that exchange. It did seem to bother her that I didn't acknowledge her efforts. If you recall, I said something along the lines that her contribution is allowing me to spend more time with her and not being mean anymore. By the way, W and I have been getting along so darn well. Lately, it is wonderful. Physically, we've been having the honeymoon we really didn't have. Actually had 2 times yesterday. We've been joking around, talking, and downright having a grand time. She seems genuinely so much happier. I truly feel we have turned a fantastic corner. She is now the most fantastic wife, and I'm still working hard to be her perfect husband. Most nights we go to bed together, and she's back to spooning me again. Back in my dating days, I used to have a test, of sorts. I would give my dates. If they did some sort of sound effect, I would immediately ask, how did that go? If they would repeat the effect, I knew they were fun. We actually would go a 3rd time, if I asked again. During our downtime, last 2 years, if I asked her how did that go, she would just shoot me a glare and say, I'm not doing it again. Today, she repeated twice, 2nd time on her own accord. She's back. We still have a long way to go. She still has not said I love you, and she still does not seem to understand my love language, touch and affirmation. Hers are quality time and acts of service. For now, I am meeting her emotional needs. But, for me to truly be happy, I need her to tell me she loves me and need unsolicited touch. As we continue to grow, I'll work on trying to convey this to her in a non-confrontational way. As for progress, we have settled on Orlando in September. We are also working on plans for a trip, just the 2 of us, to New Orleans, for a long weekend, Memorial Day weekend. Here is an interesting exchange from Monday, but some background first. The previous Monday, I texted her that I did some experimenting with the razor during my morning shower. The gist of our texting last Tuesday was a lot around my newfound smoothness, if you know what I mean. She appears to really like it and has been joking with me ever since. For instance, one of my texts was that Wednesday was Survivor night, and I had plans for her. She responded, is that your smooth move? Anyway, this past Monday, when I got home for work, I did my normal hello hugs to the kids, then went to W and gave her a peck on the cheek. DD1 commented, I thought you guys didn't kiss anymore. I responded, no, you mentioned that we don't kiss. I never said that. In fact, here's another kiss for her. W then adds, Mommy and Daddy just went through a rough patch for a while. That is all. I then quipped in, yeah, now we are all smoothed over. We just doubled up laughing. So, we are so on a completely elevated level, in joking around, and being physical with each other. Things seem great. We've been joking about the New Orleans trip, and I keep telling her the goal is maximum beads. She keeps responding she doesn't think, after 2 kids, she is bead worthy. I keep assuring her she absolutely is, and we both laugh. But, in the long run, she does need to learn to start speaking my love language. I hope we get there. I think we will. And, yes, we do need to address some of the failings. Communication is number 1. That got us to that bad place. But not now. I also think we need, at some point, to address how devastated I was by her beginning stage E. It seems to be a bit rug swept right now, and now is not the right time. I don't think it needs to come up as punishment or anything. I just think she will need to understand the emotional avalanche I went through and am still dealing with. I will still go through triggers, and she will need to understand them. Ordered a new king-size bed today. Hopefully, she will be able to sleep better and be happier. Plus, a new TV, more bedroom time together. We are really getting along so much better. Completely different. This is the best we have ever gotten along. 2 weeks later, nothing really dramatic happened until yesterday. Today. First, to update, we got the new bed in a week ago. It isn't really helping her sleep all that much better. But now I'm further away, so she can't kick me as easily. When I snore, I have an overnight at the sleep center in 2 weeks. Hopefully that will provide some insight. Other than that, we have been spending some really good quality time together. I go to bed with her nearly every night, 8 to 9. But we watch some TV on our new TV, talk, and 2 to 3 times a week. She has started being a whole lot more affectionate. When I hug her, her arms actually seem to have some strength in them. Again, and not just wet noodles. As to dramatic, we had made reservations for Easter Sunday brunch. Kids were playing on a jungle gym. Very smart restaurant owner actually has one in the back, where the open-air section of the restaurant bar is. We are doing better, right? Yes, of course, don't you think so? Absolutely, just wanted to make sure you were on the same page. I love you, you know. Me too. I sent her a text today that I love her. She I love you too, back at me. Those elusive words are back. Still have counseling scheduled for this Saturday. I hope this stick, but things seem so much better. Too early to say for sure. Still wonder, a bit, about the other phone, and her start at an I don't think I'm being hoodwinked here. She really seems genuine. So, maybe the bygones need to be left as bygones. Focus on the future. I've made some very significant changes. Cut out late nights. I pretty much go to bed with her every night. No more videos. No more internet gaming. Much more time spent with her. Family. Very cognizant of making sure there are no angry outbursts. Being diligent, and making the above habits, versus doing them being habits, are the only way I can make sure not to revert. I also have learned her love language. As alien as they may be to me, I get more from a single touch from her than anything else. She, on the other hand, responds more to me cleaning up around the house. Go figure, I'm focused now on what does it for her, and she seems to be focusing on my language as well. I hope it all lasts. Things are absolutely fantastic between us now. I just got back from a business trip to Barcelona. Nearly the whole time, we communicated through texts and phone. She obviously missed me. I even got a couple naughty pics from her. Very unlike her. But she definitely was missing me. I got home Father's Day night. I almost felt it was a little bit too much. There was tremendous fanfare, Father's Day gifts, Father's Day cake, favorite meal cooked, and someone on one, both that night. And the next morning, I can honestly say, I don't think I've ever felt so loved. She is clearly a different woman, and I can admit, I've stuck true to my own changes. We go to bed together, most nights, no more gaming at night, more quality time, etc. I hate to say it, cause the emotional pain over the past 2 years was something I would wish on no one, but it seems to have given us the closer relationship we've always wanted. I can only hope that it will grow even stronger over the many years to come. All that being said, I struggle with some level of angst. She turned from me once, will she again? I don't think I am all that much different than I was before, but, this time, I think I know so much more than I did then. I think I would know how to deal with it, should it ever happen again. It has definitely been a roller coaster, but more feels like a merry-go-round now. Orlando was awesome, thanks. We went 2 weeks ago, for a full 9 days, 6 full days of amusement park activity. I estimate I did about 30 to 35 miles of hiking, because I was the advance guy for the fast passes. Meaning I ran ahead, got the fast pass, came back to them, and worked our way back to that ride. Every ride they did, I walked twice, but we had a blast. And I never found much alone time, but we had fun. We are still recovering from that trip. We are doing very well now. Bonding is still not nearly as frequent as it should be, but I don't really think it has to do with a lack of willingness on her part. It is more life in the fast lane, and we don't have late night energy. After work, dinner, kids' homework, kids' snuggle time, kids to bed, and then adult snuggle time. We do make together time, nearly daily. Short of it, I believe we are both much happier than we've ever been. I guess, the only thing that matters. And it doesn't appear she was just using me to go to Orlando. She's still here. My comment, what do you guys think of a good ending? Most of the time the stories go down a spiral, but it seems OP's wife wanted to rebuild the marriage after all. Comment what you think about the ending, and there will be one more video